Except every day means every day in the silence room. Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji often went night hunting together. One day, while night hunting, they passed by a small village called Couple Village. They made appointment to meet in a small woods outside the village. Lan Wangji arrived a bit late, his spotless white boots stepping on the grass softly. He had already seen Little Apple, so he gently pushed aside the tender branches in front of him, ready to call out, "Wait!" He was interrupted by Wei Wuxian's hearty laughter. "With such beauty, you'll surely succeed, young lady." "Young lady?" Lan Wangji was startled and paused. He looked carefully and saw several local girls gathered around Wei Wuxian, laughing happily. "Young Master Wei, you have such sweet words." "So, young Master Wei, will you come with us to see it?" they invited. Wei Wuxian agreed immediately. "Sure, my friend won't be back for a while anyway. I'll go with you and see if it's as amazing as you say." The girls led the way cheerfully. "Let's go." One of the girls asked, "What about your donkey, young master? Should we bring it along?" Lan Wangji hid behind a tree swiftly, in case that Wei Wuxian might come to fetch Little Apple and see him. He heard Wei Wuxian laugh and say, "It's better to leave it here. It's quite stubborn and gets tired. Let it wait here for my friend." The girl, hearing about his friend, asked, "What if your friend comes and can't find you?" Lan Wangji held his breath and listened to Wei Wuxian's answer. Wei Wuxian laughed heartily and said, "Then he'll just have to wait for me." The chatter and laughter of Wei Wuxian and the girls gradually faded as they walked away. Little Apple brayed discontentedly. Lan Wangji exhaled finally, feeling a twinge of inexplicable bitterness. He walked over to the donkey, lowered his head, and stroked its head gently. But he never let go of the wine he was holding. Lan Wangji mulled over Wei Wuxian's words. "Such a beautiful lady. Friend, he'll just have to wait for me." A sigh escaped his lips as he pondered internally. "Wei Ying, do you still prefer girls? Why did you refer to us as friends?" In the distance, he could still catch snippets of laughter from Wei Wuxian and the girls, his keen senses allowing him to hear every word despite the distance. "I've never seen someone as handsome as young Master Wei. Any girl who marries you must be the happiest," one girl. Really think so?" A girl teased quickly, "Young Master Wei, aren't you a bit too confident?" Those words felt like tiny needles pricking at Lan Wangji's heart, weaving a web of sorrow and helplessness. Gradually, their voices disappeared entirely, leaving him standing there motionless, like a meditating monk. A group of children ran by, laughing and chattering. "Look, a real immortal!" "See, I told you so." They glanced at Lan Wangji excitedly. "This elder brother has been standing here. Whom is he waiting for?" Lan Wangji remained still, even closing his eyes, his heart sighing quietly. "Wei Ying, I am waiting for you." Meanwhile, Wei Wuxian was led to a particular location by the girls, who exclaimed, "Here we are, young Master Wei." He saw many people entering a gate, most of them young women. "So many people," he remarked. The girls encouraged him. "Now it's up to you, young Master Wei. Good luck." Wei Wuxian's eyes gleamed, briefly envisioning Lan Wangji's handsome, serene face and tall, straight figure. In the woods, Lan Wangji waited, eyes closed, until he heard distant footsteps approaching. He could discern the sound of a group of girls giggling, and Wei Wuxian's hurried steps among them. Opening his eyes, Lan Wangji maintained a seemingly indifferent expression. Wei Wuxian waved goodbye to the girls. "Thank you so much for today." The girls responded warmly. "You're welcome. Till we meet again, young Master Wei." They left, giggling and reluctant to part. Wei Wuxian turned and saw Lan Wangji waving joyfully. "Lan Zhan." Seeing Wei Wuxian's bright smile, Lan Wangji couldn't help but lift the corners of his mouth slightly. Wei Wuxian jogged over, asking, "When did you get back? Did you resolve everything?" Standing before Lan Wangji, he added with concern, "Did you wait long?" Lan Wangji replied calmly, "Yes." Wei Wuxian continued speaking excitedly. "It's a pity you missed it. This village is celebrating a unique festival today." He caught sight of the wine jar in Lan Wangji's hand and exclaimed, "You bought me wine? How thoughtful! I was just in the mood for a drink because of some good news." "Good news?" Lan Wangji's heart was pricked again, his face darkening as the joy of finally seeing Wei Wuxian vanished. Wei Wuxian reached for the wine jar, but Lan Wangji moved it away quickly, leaving Wei Wuxian empty-handed. Wei Wuxian sensed something was off instantly and looked up at Lan Wangji, trying to understand his mood. Clearly, Lan Zhan was unhappy. Cautiously, Wei Wuxian asked, "Lan Zhan, what's wrong? Have you waited too long?" Lan Wangji turned his head, remaining silent. Wei Wuxian leaned closer, not giving up. "Lan, Ergega, why are you unhappy?" Lan Wangji turned his face further away, and Wei Wuxian followed. Lan Wangji. A sudden realization dawned on Wei Wuxian. Provocatively, he lifted Lan Wangji's handsome chin with his finger. "I get it. Second young Master Lan is jealous again, isn't he?" Still, Lan Wangji remained silent. A sly glint appeared in Wei Wuxian's eyes as he gently smiled and leaned in, pressing his lips to Lan Wangji's cool. He pulled back, tracing Lan Wangji's jawline with his fingers. "All right, it's my fault. Don't be mad, okay?" Lan Wangji grabbed Wei Wuxian's wrist suddenly, sealing his lips in a fervent kiss abruptly. He sought something fervently, until at last he nipped at Wei Wuxian's lower lip. Wei Wuxian winced slightly from the bite and pushed Lan Wangji away gently, his cheeks tinged with a faint blush. "Honestly, Lan Zhan, you're still so jealous even now." Lan Wangji remained mute, a dull expression on his face. Wei Wuxian hurried to appease him. Okay, it's my fault, all my fault." Perking up with a smile, Wei Wuxian reached into his sleeve. "Oh, I have something for you." Then, extending his hand from his sleeve, he looked up at Lan Wangji with a twinkle in his eyes. "Give me your hand." Lan Wangji complied, extending his hand. Wei Wuxian tied a bracelet with a red bead around his wrist. Gently. Lan Wangji examined his wrist. "What is this?" Wei Wuxian raised his own hand to show an identical bracelet adorning his wrist. "Couple beads," he declared proudly. He swayed the bracelet in front of Lan Wangji. "I have one too. These are a pair. Remember I mentioned there was a special festival in the village today? Every year on February 14th, this village celebrates Immortals' Day, commemorating a pair of deeply in love celestial beings whose souls remain together even after death. They cultivated a flower called the couple flower, which, after 10 years of careful nurturing, produces a bud that remains tightly sealed. Those who wish for a beautiful union in love can pray devoutly before the flower. If you get its blessing, the flower's bud opens, gifting you its essence in the form of couple beads. These beads ensure that the lovers will remain inseparable for eternity." Wei Wuxian emphasized, "These beads bloom only once every 10 years. Proudly, he added, "I was the only one among the girls to receive the blessing successfully. They were envious." He grasped Lan Wangji's hand gently and declared solemnly, "Lan Zhan, you're mine forever." Lan Wangji, touched to the core by Wei Wuxian's words, felt his initial resentment vanish like mist. Coming back to himself, he asked, "Do you believe in this?" Wei Wuxian, shaken by the question momentarily, thought, "What am I getting all worked up about? I was so excited by those girls' chatter. I didn't stop to think." He felt a bit embarrassed, stumbling over his words. "Of course! Why wouldn't I believe in something so beautiful?" Wei Wuxian gazed at Lan Wangji, his eyes brimming with love and tenderness. "But I trust you more," he confessed, his voice full of affection. Then he exclaimed, "All right, hurry up!" Turning away abruptly, Wei Wuxian tried to mask the newfound realization blossoming in his heart. He thought to himself, "Oh no, when did I start having such thoughts like a lovesick girl?" Lost in his musings, he didn't notice Lan Wangji's hand reaching out behind him. In one swift motion, Lan Wangji pulled him into a firm embrace. Then he whispered something in Wei Wuxian's ears. The whisper was so gentle, yet it sent a jolt through Wei Wuxian's entire being. Despite his usual bravado and the facade of invulnerability he prided himself on, Wei Wuxian felt his cheeks heat up. "You!" he exclaimed, flustered. Lan Wangji's gaze remained steady, his expression soft and his smile gentle, like a soothing breeze of spring that caressed the soul. Wei Wuxian found himself unable to endure the overwhelming emotions any longer. He raised a hand to cover his face. To say such things at a time like this, right here, terrible Lan Zhan. What had Lan Wangji whispered to Wei Wuxian?